Hello guys! In this session, I want to teach the different type of head and shoulders pattern. I assume that you all are familiar with this form, but I want to go into the detail of this pattern. As you know, this pattern consists of two shoulders and one head. The simplest form you can see in the first picture. See that we have a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder and a neckline. I want to introduce these four models that you see in the picture as setups. I will show the head and shoulders pattern in the top of the trend, and the next part we check the pattern on the bottom. There are four types of head and shoulder pattern in the picture. You can see the first type is the classic type of this pattern, and the second type of head is not far from the shoulders, and the movement is actually done with a candle and hunt last zone or area. The third type is the type in which the neckline is sloping and the positive slope is approximately between 15 and 45 degrees, and the shoulders are sloping. The type of 4 is like the third type, with the difference that its slope is negative, and this pattern is a famous pattern in the red demarcate methods or RTM, which is known as quasimodo pattern, which we discuss in detail later. Let's check one by one which pattern is formed and how we should enter the position. Let's go. Let's check the first type together. Assume that the left shoulder, head, and the right shoulder are formed first. We wait for the neckline to break, and we assume that when the neckline breaks, a supply and demand range is formed. You can see last video to understand that. If this range is not formed, entering this position is a bit risky. After breaking the neckline, price breaking the neckline, we wait for the price to return or retrace and just our entry on the neckline or the supply and demand area that I said before. We have two choices for placing a stop loss. Either we can place it behind the base or behind the right shoulder. For the classic way, we can place the stop loss behind the head. It depends on you. We have two ways for the profit range. Either we set the TP as high as the height of the head, or we use the supply and demand range or supply and demand area. Okay, we have a gold chart here, and I wanna show you this pattern on 5 minutes time frame. Here we have left shoulder, right shoulder. Okay, then price come and break the neckline, and we can put our position here. As I said before, we have two choices. We can put our stop loss behind the right shoulder, behind the base, or behind the head. Assume I put my stop loss behind right shoulder, and I get my take profit as high as head. I show you. Okay. Stop loss behind the base, and we get excellent position. As you can see, this pattern could change the trend. For the second type, after formation of the head and the confirmation that this head is formed only for hunting the previous range, we can enter the position like that. I show you now. Or we wait for this range to be confirmed, and then when the right shoulder is formed, we can enter our entry point. The stop loss is based behind the hunt candle, but the TP is the size of the head height like the previous example. For second type example, I use Bitcoin USDT 50 minutes time frame. As you can see here, we have a left shoulder. This is our left shoulder. And after that, price come and break down this level with one candle that we assume that this candle hunt this level, and after price come back below that hunt candle, our pattern confirmed, and we can enter to the position on this candle and put our stop loss behind the head, or you can put our stop loss behind the base area, I mean here, but I put behind the candle. And for take profit, we can use, let me show you, we can use last support or resistance area here, or we can wait until price break down this neckline. Here breakout happened, and we can enter here and put our stop loss behind the base or behind the head. It is classic way for entering to the position, but this pattern give us a really good profit. Look at this, it is great, but in my way we can get a lot bigger profit. As I said before, for third type, we have a sloping neckline, and we waiting for this neckline breakout, and when this happen, we can enter in the neckline, or we can wait after confirmed here, and we put our position on the neckline and our stop loss behind the right shoulder, or in a classic way behind the head, and for target we can use a level that happened before, or we can use height of head. And let me show you, we have a measurement here and control and paste here. This is our target. For third type example, I use BNB USDT 5 minutes time frame. As you can see, price formed a left shoulder and then a head and a right shoulder. You can see here our neckline is sloping, and for degree, if I find tool, okay, it is 16 degree. As I said before, between 50 and 45 degree. After this barcode, we can enter on the retrace to the neckline, a sloping neckline, and put our stop loss behind the right shoulder or behind the head. I put behind the left shoulder. And for take profit, we can use price level that formed before. I mean, here we can put on last support or resistance level, or we can measure head and copy paste here and put our position, our take profit position on this measure that we measured before. But I don't recommend you use this pattern, I mean third type pattern, for entering the position. It is high risky, and important level for this pattern is here. If price break here and break here, you can enter position with a low risk. For fourth type, we have a sloping again, but this sloping is different from third type. It's negative. Last sloping was between 50 and 45 degree, but this is negative. And for entry this position, we can wait until this area that left shoulder make it break down. I mean here, let me show you. After this level barcode and we have a stop hunt here, we can wait until price retrace to left shoulder area. You can put a line here and enter there. For a stop loss, you have two choices. You can put your stop loss behind the head, or you can put your stop loss behind the base that formed before. I mean, when you change your time frame and go to lower time frame, you can see a base and a supply and demand zone here that make on the line. I mean, maybe there is a base here. You can put your stop loss behind that area, or you can put your stop loss behind the head. For take profit, you have two choices. You can, let me first put my stop loss there. For TP, you can put your TP on this area that formed on neckline, or you can use a price level price that maybe before. I wanna show you, let me okay, maybe price is like that. We can put our position, our take profit here, and we can't don't put our TP and move with price. I mean, this pattern that is on RTM method, it's happen when trend change. I mean, this is bullish, and after this pattern we have a bearish trend, and we can move with price, and when we get another quasimodo here, we can close our position. For first type of head and shoulder example, I use Bitcoin 50 minutes time frame, and you can see here we have a quasimodo pattern or first type head and shoulder. After this neckline breakout, that this spike candle break this level, we can wait until price retrace to the base or to the left shoulder. I mean, you can put your position here, or you can put your position on the base. It's depend on you. After that, we can put our stop loss behind the head or behind the base. Again, it's depend on you. For take profit area, we have two choices. We can put our take profit on this end of movement, or we can use price level. I mean, look at this flip area, and after that you can close your position. This four type of this pattern could happen on the end of bearish trend, and it's upside down. I don't teach one by one this pattern because I know you understand this lesson for top, and you can find a lot of example for each of these pattern. 2 and 4 type is so good for trending, and I extremely recommend you to take a lot of backtest for these two and put this on your plan strategy. Thank you for watching my video, and for support me, please subscribe and like my video, and if you like, you can follow me on TradingView account. It's my ID Malika Trader 94. Thank you again.